Hello, welcome back to Lady and the Frogs. So you're gonna have to forgive the face, even though it probably doesn't look any different, you know, it's just paranoia. But the cold is here. So this is what my husband has been ill with. You know, and I thought it was exaggerating, but it's one of them where it's like a lot of snot, which just seems to like give you like, you know, like a massive headache and like eye headaches. But anyway, I've been at work anyway. Today's Friday, 26th of January, 2024. I keep thinking it is still 23 because this doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, I am off work today and I've got annual leave next week. So hopefully I'm going to get a whole lot of shit done. God. So today I'm hoping to do photos. And I mean, the sun is doing its weird stuff. I've got the curtains closed there. Otherwise it would just be like complete sun in here. So I think it's going to be like, I'm finding that 1 o'clock is about the optimum time for doing photos without all this shadowing. As I take the clock off the wall there and I take photos there. And although I know, you know, you can see sort of shadows now, I just hate winter. Anyway, I've got some good stuff here which I've picked up yesterday. I've got one real banger. But first I'm going to show you the stuff which I've sold. This thing which I'm irritated about, I don't know, I'm irritated anyway, because I've got 2 returns open for stuff which I've mailed off, and it would appear that these poly mailers, so I mean we've had 2 bad storms in England in this last week, which have brought lots and lots of rain, because I remember going out, because I've walked in both of them with my umbrella, and both of them said it was a deluge of rain. But the problem that I've had is actually with this. So I've sent 2 things which have gone on, posted on Monday, and then they've obviously like arrived Wednesday and Thursday. So there's a good chance that, you know, even with the postman carrying them from, you know, wherever they've left their van, or if they've been in their bag, there's a good chance that they've got wet. And one of them was, probably shouldn't have gone in this. I should have sent it in something, you know, more like that size. In that it was, they were both white garments, and it was at the top end of this. I haven't had this item back yet, but I've seen, I always get grainy pictures from people when they send me a return, and you can't really tell. But this shirt was a white shirt, and it's now got orange all over it. And the only thing that I can think is on this end here, where there's a potential that could have tucked in. For some reason this has got wet and the dye has run onto the white garment, because it's sort of, from what I can see from the photos, I mean I'll find out when I actually get the item back, it's sort of run onto it, and there's no way that I wouldn't have noticed massive orange stains on a white garment when I was photographing it, because I do flat lays and I do mannequin, an all-round mannequin. This is a male shirt, and it's a total 360 with my with my male mannequin. So as if I'm not annoyed enough with eBay and their £95 featured shop charge. now one of the like benefits of it, which is getting these, which isn't a benefit anyway for me, because it means I have to deal with I would rather get the boxes and the sellotape, but the boxes and the sellotape are not part of click and collect. These are the only things which are on click and collect. I can't use Every, because if they use Every, they leave it in the garden. So I've had stuff that's gone missing before, and then when I've contacted them about a refund, they've said to me, yeah, we'll give you a refund for the amount that for the amount minus the £10 packaging voucher, which is just annoying, because, you know, I'm getting a refund but then not the £10 voucher, which I've paid for because it's part of my wretched subscription. I want to scale. I'd like to downgrade my shop. The only things that worry me is I think you only have 300 fixed listings. And when I was doing well on this, I would always have 500 to 600. So it would be aggravating. But then saying that, at the moment, I've only got like 400 listings. So realistically, if I'm paying the 25, which is more like 30 something, isn't it, with the VAT, even then, if I'm paying the extra like 10p per listing, I'm still only paying £50. So it is technically cheaper than what I'm on. But apparently I have visibility in other countries with the featured shop. But it's another thing which I'm a bit like, is that actually the case? So anyway, the reason I was talking about this is because the best sale that I've made today is actually this bag. And my bubble wrap is on the top there. I'm going to bubble wrap it and then put it in one of these poly mailers, because I'm so paranoid now. I mean, I don't want turquoise running into the bag. It just... You see, I've asked if anybody else has had any problems, and the thing is that if I have had problems, I sell a lot of like darker colour items, so if this is happening with darker colour items, you're not necessarily going to know. It is black inside, so I'm just really confused as to why this is happening. But sometimes these are really substandard plastic. But this one, because this is a current batch that I'm on, I just don't know. I just don't know what's going on, you know. And then on top of that, I've actually got this as well, which I'm going to use. I just don't know. I'm getting so frustrated with the featured shop because it's not doing what it says. So anyway, I've sold this for £45. Somebody sent me a message yesterday about it, wanting me to confirm the colour, because I'd done a flat lay on it, and obviously I'd done a flat lay on this carpet, which you can see here, which is a turquoise coloured carpet, and because of the light at this time of year, it was coming out pinky. So that's not great. I think the microphone has fucked up again. This is so aggravating. Yeah, anyway, I'll show you this now. That's what I'm working on. I'm going to start this. I am hating with a passion all of my current technology. I think I'm going to go back to recording on my old phone. So I like to record all my videos in one go, because now that I've got 2 pieces of a video there, it's going to take me 6 hours to upload it. Because I have to, I just don't know. I've got decent internet here. I've got a decent computer. It's just, everything is just wanting me to spend more money on something that's better, and it's just annoying me. Anyway, the Under the Stories bag. It was looking pink on when I'd done the flat lay on this carpet, because it is, yeah, because it's winter and the light is just awful. I'm having to take photos on less desirable days because of my work schedule, and it's just becoming frustrating. So this is a real leather bag by Under the Stories, so I'm really happy with that. I'm going to absolutely encase this in bubble wrap, which is the right thing to do anyway for sending that, and then put it in one of these. This I've just sold for 20. Just a basic Barber top. I didn't expect to really get anything more than that. And then I've sold this. So I've had this up really high because somebody'd sold this for £85 like 2 years ago. So of course I came along and put my price at 75. Then I dropped it to 65 and it didn't sell. And then last night people have been sending me like offers like £10 and it's been hacking me right off. And somebody sent me an offer last night of £35. And then I just thought, oh, do you know what? I'll just check and see how much the smaller versions of this are selling for, because some of the Jellycats have been re-released, so therefore the prices that were spiking previously mean nothing now. I could have got 50 for this, but I accepted that offer for 35 because when I went into it, it said that they lived in America. It said they lived in the USA, so I was like, oh well, you know, at least I'll get the postage paid, which I have an extra postage on it, and I just thought, yeah, that's fine. And then I looked at the order again, and they'd moved to China, so I was like, oh, here we go. Traditionally, if somebody's in China, they suddenly move to England, and suddenly it's one of these stupid postage places. So now it's going to one of these warehouses in Nottingham, thankfully not Harrow, because if it was going to Harrow it's going to its death. And then they always like moan at me saying it hasn't been delivered. I really hate that, but anyway, I mean, it's going tracked postage. I've got £35 for it. I paid £1. So it doesn't matter, does it? It's good profit, and I shouldn't have been wild with my prices, and I should have put it for the more desirable price. And I think in the back of my mind, some of the stuff which I've listed this week, I know that I've gone on the higher side of the pricing instead of the reasonable pricing, and I'm like thinking, why have I done that? So I'm going to have to rethink my pricing. But as I've said, I've got a week off, and I've got to do a full stock take, get my spreadsheet up to date for this current year, not because I've done my tax return. I just want to get everything up to date for this year so that I can stock take and cross-reference my spreadsheet, because my spreadsheet tells me what stock I've got. So I want to cross-reference my spreadsheet so that I can work out what stuff may have gone missing, or maybe in some box. It's like these boxes that you can see here, which don't even look like boxes. So the last video that you saw, I was doing my sewing and mending, which is what those boxes are. There's still bits in there that I'm working through. But when I took those boxes, there's a box underneath it that's got stuff in it, and I'm like, whoa. Oh yeah, I bought that at a jumble trail, and I know I've been since doomsday. So somebody's just closed their door downstairs and it's just disconnected the microphone. I swear to God. Don't live in an apartment that's been put together by Frank Spencer. Right, let's do this again. Does it even make any sense that somebody can close a door downstairs and it disconnects my microphone? That's how bad the input is with my phone. And it's not that I've got a case on my phone, because my case I've taken off. It's just adapter after adapter. So, things I've picked up. I'll leave the banger. I was so glad that I wasn't in work on Wednesday. It's Friday, yeah. I was so glad I wasn't in work because there was a big changeover and everything. I walked in yesterday, and I mean, I don't even have a wheelchair, but I was just like, why have they changed this in such a way that wheelchairs can't get round now? It just looks absolutely wacky at work. Anyway, one of the things that I was made to do yesterday was make sure that everything was sitting on the hanger in the perfect way, which meant that turning stuff round. So I spent a lot of time turning things round on the hanger yesterday. So I found 4 things on the shop floor. Because I was put to one of these tasks that nobody else wanted to do. So I found another 2 Marla Wynne dresses. Yeah, they're only small. You know, and yeah, like £5. Oh, is this a dress? Yes, it is a dress. So this is turquoise. Bing. £5. Marlowin. So now we've got lots and lots of Marlowin to deal with. I'm going to put them there because I need, obviously, to de-tag these and put them on the blessed spreadsheet. And then it's only a size 8. I've got a sea salt top. Size 8. It looks quite big for size 8, but a nice floral print. Ah, and £3. Yep, good. And then this. So this is a banger. I did look it up, but I knew exactly what it was, and I wanted it. I was tempted to keep it for myself. But this is the Lady Diana jumper. So I think this, in the Crown, when you see her in the Crown, when she goes up to Balmoral to shoot the stag, you know, and make friends with the Duke, and she seems to spend more time with the dad than she does with Charles. Anyway, she's wearing this. So this is a re-release from a company called Rowing Blazers. They do lots of rugby tops, Rowing Blazers. I know this because when I looked it up yesterday to see how much it went for, now I'm getting loads of targeted adverts for Rowing Blazers, which is fantastic. I had to go like extensively on the website. It says £265 on the website. It's currently on pre-order only, this jumper. They don't actually have any of this. But I was going on there obviously to check it out. There's not really any on eBay. They sell in for £250 on eBay in this country. There seems to be a lot for sale in the US, but I think the reason they're there for sale in the US is because they're not necessarily selling in the US. In the US, they seem to be selling for the 300 mark when they do sell. However, I was spending a lot of time on the website yesterday because I feel that this is shrunk. It just doesn't look right, and it just feels like it's a little bit too chunky. So it is a large. It's got the size there as large. So I went on their size chart thing to measure what the chest measurement is for large, and it ain't this. So this is probably about 3 inches, no, 2 to 3 inches smaller than their large size on this. So I am going to have to list this as a medium. I mean, it would fit, but you can tell that somebody's machine washed it. It says dry clean only. It's not a very exciting label on it. I mean, I knew that it wasn't a vintage original because it had that on the seam, and that's not common from back in the thingy. And it's also got an RN number, which isn't necessarily something that went on in the 80s. So that's the thingy, and it just says dry clean, 100% wool, but I think somebody's put it in the machine. And it is bobbled. So I've debobbled one side of it. So that is my other quest for today. I mean, I know that I could probably try washing it, but I'm not the person to do that. I'm just not. But anyway, I'm going to probably put this on for 200 and just say that it's a medium, explain that it does feel like it's had some machine washing and shrinkage occurring. Put the measurements on there and, you know, leave it at that, because I think it's desirable enough. So I mean, yeah, so it's 18 to 19, so that's 38, isn't it? 38 chest. I think that's reasonable to list it as a medium rather than a large. But it is a desirable jumper, and I'm really pleased to get that for £5. Especially when my mission was, it's just one of those jobs that you end up having to do that just mongs you out. So I'm going to put this guy in here, which hopefully is the right thing to do. I'm going to put this in a jiffy bag, and then I'm going to put the others in the larger one with bubble wrap. So my quest today is to photograph everything that you saw on there, which is ironed and prepped and sort of checked over. I've done some of my sewing jobs. I haven't done everything. Some of that stuff I am just going to write off the stock because there's just no going back on it. I've got a silk dress which has got like, it's got like a floor all the way through it, and it's also a size 6. So there's just everything going against it. And then there's a Kriya concept cardigan which has got spots all sewn into it, but every spot just seems to have a hole in it. So I don't know if I can go back on that. And I've had that for a year and a half and I haven't dealt with it. And then this is all the stuff which I've washed. So this is what I'm dealing with today. So let's see. I did this on the Wednesday, so this should be dry by now, and frankly I don't want a load of like washing sat around. So this is what we do in England. I know that I do have a lot of Americans who follow me. We don't have tumble dryers in general. I don't have a tumble dryer here because trying to get somebody to just lift a washing machine into this building was hard enough. So I mean, can you imagine trying to get them to do that again with a tumble dryer? And I don't have space for it, and I don't have anywhere to put the outlet for it. So we don't have tumble dryers necessarily. We put things on areas. I have another area down there which has got the sheets on. So, stuff. Let us see. So this is Under the Stories. I just gave this a wash just because they just looked a bit drab. So I don't think I need to worry unduly about them. They'll be fine. They were just being sparked up a bit. This, I've washed everything on a, what is it? I've done it on a hand wash setting on my washing machine, which technically should be 30 degrees, but I don't trust my washing machine, so I think it's probably done it on 40. This I've done because I didn't like the look of the armpits. And they are looking better than they did, so I think that that was a good move. This is 100% silk, so this could have been a disaster. But yeah, I'm happy with that. This is the Ewusu top, silk top. I'm probably only going to get around the 50 region for that because it's just a shirt. This had a guffy mark on the sleeve. My problem is when I do stains, yes, I put the pegs on it when I'm wanting to spray. Then when I've actually managed to remove the stain, I'm like, where was it? So I don't know if it was the left sleeve or the right sleeve that this had a mark on, but it does appear that I've got it out. It looked touch and go actually with this, because it was it was a green mark. So I've owned most of this. This is Billionaires Boys Club. Most of this I've only sprayed with elbow grease spray and just popped, and I've let it soak for 20 minutes. So it's not great. This is the Tefar diesel. They just needed, when something just feels dirty. It wasn't necessarily I need to blow my nose because this cold is horrible. Sorry about that. This one had a makeup mark. It still has a makeup mark. It's not as bad as it was. So it's got a little makeup mark there. It's just stuff like this I want to perfect. I think it could possibly, I could possibly get that out if I did another go with it. And let's face it, I've got a shirt that's got orange stuff coming through the post, so I'm going to have enough for another whitewash. Oh God. I dread to think what this return is going to look like. It's really annoyed me. I have messaged them, but they're useless at eBay packaging. I really wish they'd stop using them. Right, so that needs to go back on the pile, because I honestly, I think I can achieve that one. And I think it's worth doing because the speed with which I sold the last generic t-shirt, and it was women's wear as well, from All Saints, the speed with which I sold it was unbelievable. This had marks on the bottom of it, and I'm starting to get annoyed with this because the process of washing it made it worse. Because this one is a silk dress and shouldn't have gone in the machine. LK Bennett, I think it's finally gone. It looks like it's finally gone. This is just a basic shirt. I just wanted to get rid of the cross through, which is on there, which I haven't really achieved, but that's fine. I'm not going to muck about washing that any further because it is just a basic blouse, which I'm only going to sell for £15. This had a few dog hairs on it, so I just wanted to spark it up a bit. It still looks a bit hairy. This is the trouble I find. When you wash something, it brings it all to the surface, and it's not necessarily like the best thing for it. But I prefer dealing with dog hairs once I know that I've washed it, because at least I know that they're kind of like not so bad. I think that is there. I did do a bit of debobbling on this. Also, it's alpaca, so some of the fibres might be supposed to be there. Right, let's see how I've done with the rest. Right, first thing I've got here is this, which I just need to put my peg on because I know that it's garbage. So this is one of these. This is what I've always said about All Saints is, yes, it's expensive in the shops. Yes, it sells quite fast, and it's nice in that respect. However, it's not very well made. This has got 2 freaking great holes in it. So now it's got 3 freaking great holes in it. Marvellous. I find this is the case with a lot of this stuff. It's cheap. It's cheap manufacture. 1, 2, 3. This is supposed to be merino wool as well. So, now that's got to go in my repairs thing. Yeah, 100% merino wool. All Saints cardigan. Annoying. Annoying. I am always very reluctant with All Saints. Right, this has come out looking a whole lot better. So I was a bit scared about sticking this in the machine, but what it had white, like maybe like deodorant marks all over there and all over there. And when it came out of the machine, it looked, it just looked awful. It just looked like, it didn't even look like a puffer coat anymore. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? It just looked awful. Because obviously all all the down was like soaking wet. It does say on the instructions that you can machine wash it, so I wasn't like committing a heinous crime. It's still got a mark there. That actually looks like a flaw on the zip. So yeah, the cuffs look bad. It's still not great, but I am putting this on auction because I don't want to get stuck with a puffer coat in summer months. So I've paid £5 for it, and I just think if I start it at a decent amount, you see that there's a white mark there, so I might have to try and sponge that out. I didn't notice that when I put it in. So if I do it again, it will pull that stain out actually, because it was the same mark that I had up here, and it's pulled that stain out, but I didn't notice that I had it on the pocket. Yeah, I think I'll have to do this again because that is quite bad. So that I couldn't show you because it was wasn't showing up in the light, but that was the sort of staining that I had on the collar, so it has got that out, but I didn't notice that I had it on the pockets as well. What's this ruffian doing with this coat? So I'm gonna send that through again. Not that I particularly want to. I've got enough of my own washing to do. But there you go. This, oh my god, is it gone? Has it gone? No, of course it hasn't gone. Alright, I need to stop washing this because it's not coming out. This t-shirt feels like it's getting smaller and smaller with every wash. Oh, it is small anyway. Now it looks like child small. Oh, I just need to stop. Yeah, let's get that washed and just declare the mark. This has been washed about 3 times. This felt like it was worth doing. This feels cold, like it's still wet. Yeah, this still feels damp. That's a bit weird. So this is a Paul and Shark. I knew at the time that it had marks on it, but I still paid £5 for it. The marks were here, and you can still faintly see them. So we need to stop washing this now. They were there and there. They were like oil marks, and there. So this needs to go on. This needs to go back on the air. Annoying. Why is this like wet? I don't understand what it is about some things that are just like, oh no, I can't possibly dry with the same length of time that other garments do. This had a bleach mark on it. I don't think I've won the battle with this because obviously it's a bleach mark. Frustrating. I was really reluctant to pick this up, and now I'm really, really annoyed that I've picked this up because I paid £5 for this, or £4. Yeah, so obviously sometimes, although you know that something's a bleach mark, you just think, well, let's try it because who knows, might not be a bleach mark, but that was. So this is a Hobbs dress. This had some kind of like snot on it, and it's gone. Why can't they all be organic? Well, let's face it, sweat marks are organic and they are awful to deal with. Yeah, this is still wet as well. Oh, what the fuck? This is soaking wet on the hood. So this had a mark on the bottom, and now it's got a new mark on it from my washing machine. Sometimes if my stuff finds the way to the seal, so now I've made this worse. I wash my seal out all the time. I think that's my problem. So now I've got a new mark on that because I've put it in my stupid machine. So that needs to go back in because of my washing machine. it would appear that the mark that I was intending to get out has gone, but my washing machine is just awful. These just had basic, you know, mud marks on the bottom, so obviously they've gone. Maybe I overloaded one of the washers, and that's, I don't know. I know it isn't that, because sometimes if just in the spin process, if something ends up going in the seal, and you know, it's like where the rubber meets the metal, that bit's pretty grim on my machine no matter how much I clean it. So that's what's happened there. So now I've got to rewash that. Yeah, great, isn't it? So I have a mend job on that, which just makes that tragic. A makeup mark on that, which I'll wait until I get this stupid thing that's gone orange back, and I'll wash it with that. The pull and shark is going on, it's just for some reason still wet. And then I've got those two things which just need to go in for a wash again. So let's not focus on the negative. I've got at least 10 things here, 8 or 10 things there, which are stained and done. So I'm going to take my post now, and then I'm going to get these photographed, and then just sit in my front of my computer, wait the 6 hours it's going to take for this now to render, because I've got several pieces of this video and I really wanted to just video it all in one, and just feel terrible with this cold. It is a cold. It's not anything else other than a cold, because it's here. So I'm just going to feel terrible, do some listing, do some ironing, photography, debobbling, and listing, and then accounts. So, you know, a fair amount of stuff to actually do for somebody whose head feels twice the size that it should be. So thank you for watching, and I'll be back again soon, and yeah. Adios.